Welcome back to Western New York Tonight. I'm your host, Tammie Lee. Also welcome those listening on WLNF. We have joining us now, we have Jamie Shaner. She is, I want to just make sure that I have your paperwork here. I know you're the owner, president, and CEO
the boss,
of
the
Home
big
Solutions of Western New York Incorporated. I want to make sure I get all that right. And you are a very busy lady. We were just chatting. I said, how was your summer? You're like, whew.
So busy. So busy. Everybody's moving, everybody's shaking.
It's a good time to do that.
It is.
It's just,
people like to get done before the weather changes.
Hopefully it won't be changing for a while.
That'll be right.
I know. So we were chatting over break, relative to the downsizing aspect, moving into an apartment, whatever that looks like for anybody. You have some tips and some suggestions. So I'm going to let you just go because I don't even have to ask you questions.
Absolutely. So listening to the ladies from People Inc. talk, I right away when they mentioned that there's a waiting list, to me that's the perfect time when people, they know what they want to do, they know where they want to go. If they have to wait 6 months, you start from that first day, going through your drawers, your closets, your cupboards, making the decisions that you need to make ahead of time, because the more time you have to make decisions about what you want to keep and what you want to do with what you don't want to keep, the more time you have, the better you're going to feel about those decisions. The other thing that I think is critically important, especially going into a smaller apartment, is having a floor plan done. So whether it's a service like I provide or having a family member do it, or I don't know if People Inc. would do that for you. But when I'm moving somebody into a downsized apartment, facility, home, whatever it is, we measure every wall, every inch, the space between from the corner to the window, from the window to the other end, from the other end to the next corner. We measure every inch, and we make a gridded floor plan on graph paper. And then I have a magnet board with over 300 pieces of furniture. So then I would go to somebody's home and I would measure all their furniture, and we would sit with that floor plan and figure out, before they go anywhere, exactly what's going to fit and where it's going to go. So there's no surprises. All of a sudden they don't show up. I just got a panicked call from a client the other day. I'd measured the facilities, their new apartment, measured all their furniture, and I said, okay, it's going to either be the couch or these 2 chairs and these 2 end tables, because they won't all fit in this living room. Oh, she said, we definitely want the 2 chairs and the 2 end tables, because that's really what we sit in. So we did this about a month and a half ago. Now we're packing them next week to move. I got a panicked call from the husband, who really wasn't as much a part of the process because he does have some memory issues, saying, I don't see the couch on this floor plan, and we need to have the couch, and where's anybody going to sit? And it was just full-blown panic. So I said, calm down, take a deep breath.
It's there.
You're going, no, it's not there.
No,
oh, no, the wife had decided, no couch.
Oh, okay.
So first of all, you need to talk to one another. But I said, you're going over to the facility this afternoon, talk with your coordinator over there, show them your floor plan, and call me while you're there, and we'll go on speakerphone and we'll talk this out. Just take a deep breath and get there. So then I gave the facility, their coordinator, a heads up and said, they're in full-blown panic mode. You need to talk them off the ledge. It's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. But they're going to have to make a choice, because this won't all fit, and you'll see the floor plan. So they got there, they called, and they decided, you're right, we don't need a couch. And the reason they were panicked about the couch is, once a year they have a family member that comes to visit. Where are they going to sit? So I pointed out, in your den, you have an extra chair in your den, you have an extra chair in your living room, and you have a desk chair. So there's 3 more chairs. You're going to have a small kitchen table with 2 chairs. So there's chairs for 5 more people besides yourself. If you were going to have more people than that, use the community room. Go to one of the common areas. Mm-hmm. Okay, tragedy averted.
Okay,
tragedy averted. But that's the advantage of having a floor plan worked out ahead of time, because if they had just decided to take that couch and the chairs and the end tables and everything, it would have been sitting in the hallway. Mm-hmm. And now what do? Now you'll have to pay the movers to take it somewhere else. So.
Well, I think it's also helpful to have a voice of reason. And I say when you're in the mix of those decisions, you feel very passionate.
Right.
And there's a lot of things at play. We talked about emotion, and we'll get to keepsakes in a little bit. But the big stuff is where you have to start. Those decisions about like the big stuff
because
is the main
it's
thing.
Really non-negotiable. You may have to make choices. So are you going to take your king size bed that you're currently sleeping in and have nothing else in your bedroom,
Don't walk
or
around
you're
the
going to
wall.
go with a bed from maybe a guest room that's queen or full sized, or even a twin bed. If you're a single person, a twin bed is a great solution. You know.
Makes the room look bigger.
Right.
I like
well,
that.
it gives you a little walking room, and if somebody has to walk with a walker, that's something we have to be able to accommodate in the floor plan. We have to allow 3 feet of walkway in any area so that it's safe.
That's a good idea.
Right.
So you mentioned 6 months as kind of like, don't waste any of that time. You've got to get right to
No,
planning.
no.
Short of really just saying, help me, Jamie. What kind of things should people be listing in terms of, like, you know, obviously the keepsakes, we got to whittle those down, the big items. Where do people start, though? I mean, you think about a big house, and that can be just enough to make you not start.
Absolutely. That's what happens. People get overwhelmed, and so they just freeze. When you're going somewhere and you know where you're going, start with your closet. So I tell people, take a measuring tape and measure. You have linear feet of closet space. It's a fixed, there's nothing we can do to make. You can double the rods if you have shorter hanging things. There are things we can do to expand storage within a closet, but there's only so much room in the closet. A lot of times people have taken over the grown adult children who've moved out. Susie's bedroom closet, Billy's bedroom closet, the guest room bedroom closet. Yes.
That's the entropy of randomness. Yes.
Absolutely. So we tend to fill the space that we have because we can. Well, now it's time to look in all those spaces and figure out, yikes, what am I going to do? So we prioritize. What clothes do you wear? I think I've quoted this every time I've been here, but they, whoever they are, say we wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time, because we tend to gravitate to the things that we're most comfortable in. So a retired gentleman, for example, might have 30 sport coats and suits in his closet and doesn't wear them except the occasional special event or a funeral or something like that. So maybe we can take those 30 and cut it down to 6 or...
Well, 6 or maybe 2 that fit really well, because oftentimes we have high hopes of what will be and may not be.
Right. And women tend to be more in that
more like
category.
that. I know.
I've got the size up and the size down and the size that I'm in now, and I say, well, let's just go with what you're wearing now. And
then worry about that
if you
when
lose
that
40
happens.
pounds, you can go shopping.
You celebrate. Go shopping.
Right.
So do you suggest, so now I'm kind of backtracking. So let's say now it's not a 6-month scenario. We're looking at people who are younger and they're still in their big homes and they don't foresee all that coming. Can we still start to plan?
Absolutely.
You know, because I'll tell you what, my basement is full of stuff, and it would take me 6 years probably. So I'm just thinking, like, there should be more proactivity, I think, in all of our lives.
Well,
right?
Yes. We always think that we will be in charge of making the decision and that we will control a timeline. Sometimes things change. Maybe a job changes, maybe health changes, maybe the house of your dream that's smaller suddenly appears before you and you weren't even thinking about it, and now you've got a month to deal with your basement.
Right.
So I say the sooner you deal with it, the happier you'll be with the decisions. Are you going to have an estate sale? Are you going to have a garage sale? Are you going to do consignment? Are you going to donate? Even donations, typically it takes a few weeks to schedule those. So you can think, yay, I'm going to give it all to, name your favorite charity. But you have to call them and they have to look on their calendar and see when they're in your neighborhood and schedule a pickup. And I had one downtown where I went into the facility purposely with my list of things. Here's what's left in this apartment. Will you take all these things? There was a treadmill. How old is the treadmill? It's less than 2 years old. Yes, we'll take it. Arranged it all. The drivers came. The concierge called me and said, they won't take the treadmill.
Why?
I said, oh, yes, they will. I was like, well, I already handled all this. So I said, let me speak to the driver. He clearly doesn't understand that I've tended to these details. He said, well, you need to understand it's up to the driver to what we decide to take, and I decided we're not taking the treadmill. Okay, so I call the manager and I say, I came into your building. I showed you a picture of this treadmill. You said you would take it, and now they're there. He's like, yeah, well, the driver really gets to decide.
Oh my gosh.
So I had to scramble to get rid of it, because now this unit we have a closing date, and it's in days. And a treadmill is not an easy thing to dispose of, so yeah.
What did you do? I got to know.
Well, actually the concierge said, I will handle this for you. I'll get it out of the apartment so it's done, and I will do something with it.
It's in his house now.
High five. Yeah. I don't care.
Whatever. It's a good weight loss plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know what he did with it. I don't care. It just needed to be gone that day. It needed to be gone.
Well, it speaks volumes really of having somebody kind of broker that
Right.
stuff that you're not really thinking about, because
Right.
you're again, that emotion of moving, you've got other things you're dealing with, and to be able to have somebody who helps with that is just huge.
Right.
How did you think to be able to do this kind of business? I know how it came to be, but most people might be thinking, wow, she's so good at that. How did
She's
she?
so good at that. How did she do that?
Yeah.
It's been 14, in September I'll celebrate 14 years as the owner of Home Solutions. It started out with a partner. We were going to do home staging, and we realized home staging hadn't really come to Buffalo, but that more people needed organizing and downsizing in order to be ready to sell. It's not so much that you need the house professionally staged. Some homes need that, but most do not. So we decided to focus on organizing and downsizing, and have been busy ever since.
Now your clientele is just like bubbling over, which is not a bad problem.
No, it's good. I have 2 employees, and am pondering what I'm going to do over the next 2 months, because
You're thinking about it right now. I know.
we have a huge house in Derby and another big house in the South Towns moving to Williamsville, and now another big house that I'm meeting with next week, and they all have similar deadlines. We only have so many hands to pack.
But don't be discouraged, because if you got 6 months, you may still be able to put them on your list.
absolutely.
So don't just be discouraged.
Absolutely.
Telephone number, website.
Website www.homesolutions.wny.com. Telephone number 716-984-4841.
Perfect. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go away. Plenty more after just a minute.